co-workers invited me to go out with them so I can go soak with my naked body and their naked body like this far apart. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kim. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for all your love and support. I currently live in Japan where I do traveling and lifestyle videos. So if you're into travel, food, culture, and life in Asia, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button, that like button, and turning on that post notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And without further ado, let's jump into this video. So a couple of weeks ago on Instagram, I was telling you guys that I wanted to do a little bit more of sharing my experiences and life in Japan or Asia in general, and you guys were all for it. So I went ahead and I put a poll, you'll see right here, and I asked you guys to help me come up with the name, and you guys did, and the winner was KimDixTalk Tuesday. So every Tuesday going forward from this date, we'll go ahead and put up an episode of KimDixTalk Tuesdays. So welcome to the first episode of KimDixTalk Tuesdays! Yay! And on today's episode, what we'll be talking about is 5 awkward things that has happened to me since living in Japan. So let's just get straight into it. Number 5. So my most awkward moment happened on my first day of my job. So I'm a teacher in Japan, and on the first day, guys, if you don't know, I walk everywhere in Japan. I'll link a video of my What's It Really Like Living in Japan video right here, and you guys can check that out. So I walk everywhere. I had no idea where the train station was. I needed to get to work. I got there and that was that. So it was time to go home, and the lady at the school was like, well, do you know how to get back to the train station? And I was like, no, I have no idea. So it was like a teacher workday kind of thing. So she was like, okay, is anybody leaving? Can you guys help her? So one of the guys, at the moment I got through the door, he just was staring me down. Like, I mean, staring me down, but he never said anything to me. So his hand shot up in the air. He was like, yes, hi. So I was like, oh, okay. So then the principal, he was also leaving. So he was like, yeah, I can help her as well. So the principal, I got to the front of the school and I'm changing my shoes because you have to change your shoes in Japan. Again, you'll see that link up here if you want to find out more about that in Japan. So I'm changing my shoe and I go outside. The principal has a bicycle and he's like, okay, let's go. And I'm looking, I'm like, I know for a fact that he's not expecting me to go on his bicycle. Like, what is going on? So at the same time, homeboy was like, I'm here. He has his bike. So he was like, let's go. Like his motorbike. He was like, let's go. And I was like, well, bicycle, motorbike. I think motorbike. So I was like, I think I'll go with him. So he was like, so after that happened now, I started thinking about it. I'm like, it's the first day, and you know, on a motorbike, you have to be like close. Like, those things are small. They're small, especially the ones here. He had a little small, tiny little one. I'll insert a clip right here. So I was like, I don't know if this is the right thing to do. I don't like that he was staring at me earlier, and I don't want all of this to be up on him, titties pressed on him, vaginas pressed on him. I was like, no. So I'm like, I'll just walk. And he was like, okay, that's fine. So in my mind, I really wasn't thinking. So homeboy got his bike and he started pushing. And this was a good 25 to 30 minutes walk to the train station. He pushed his bike all the way to the train station, and we just talked. We just talked the whole time. So that was one of the most awkward moments in Japan, was being offered a ride on a bike and a motorbike. Number 4. So I was in class and I was doing my thing and I asked for volunteers. Now, a couple of kids were a volunteer. I used to work in an elementary school. I used to work in 3 elementary schools. And the kids were volunteering and stuff, but there was this one little boy. I just felt like we weren't having a connection. So I asked for a volunteer and I'm like, okay, you'll be my volunteer. Come to the front of the class. Little boy gets up, proceeds to walk to the front of the class, and I hear kids giggling. I look, and this boy, guys, this kid had a full-blown erection. And I didn't know what to do, what to say, and I just froze. I couldn't tell him. I just stood there awkward. I was just like, okay, all the kids are laughing, and he's just there like, that's number 4. Having a student stand in front of the class with an erection. Number 3. So every year for my job, we have to get a health checkup. So I went to the doctor, and this was during summer. I had on like a V-cut shirt. So there were 2 doctors, an old doctor and a young doctor. I was hoping to get the old doctor. Everybody had a crush on the young doctor, and I knew it was going to do something with my breast. I was like, I don't want to. I just want the old man. So we go in there, and he's talking to me and whatever. So he gets his stethoscope out, right? And he's like, okay, I need to hear your heartbeat. Well, guys, if you don't know, add me on Instagram. I have huge breasts, okay? Like, people say they have big breasts, but I have watermelons. So he's like, okay, I need to hear your heartbeat. Well, the doctors, nurses, everybody always have a problem hearing my heartbeat because this thing is right up there, right? So he goes to stick his stethoscope because he's trying. He's like right here trying. He's not hearing anything because the girls were like up here, right? So he's trying, nothing is happening. So I was like, this is awkward. Thankfully, I did not get that young boy. So then he's like trying to stick his stethoscope down my boobs, and he's like, I'm like, you're not going to get it down there like that. He's like, he's just there laughing awkwardly. He's awkward, and I'm just, anything with these girls, I'm kind of used to. I've gone through so many awkward things with them. So I was just like, you're not going to get it like that. I was like, hold on. So I go in, separate them, and I'm like, here you go. So he's like, oh. So then, I let go. So then the boobs, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. So then my boobs just like back together, right? And he's like, eh! And I can't do it in his male voice. And I was like, yep. So we're there, and he's awkward now, trying to like move his stethoscope around, but they're still together right now because I let them go. And he's just like, can you? So I go in there and I separate them again. He's like, oh, okay. So then it's time to take them out, and his stethoscope got stuck in my breast, and he just did not have the nerve to tell me to open my breast again. He was just there just pulling and pulling, and I just decided that I was just going to let this awkward moment roll, and I was just like, and he was just there awkwardly trying to pull his stuff out my chest until I finally was like, it's okay, here you are. So that was number 3. Number 2. This one, guys, I'm not even sure if it's truly an awkward moment. I felt so disrespected. I felt so hurt. I felt just a whole bunch of emotions that at the moment I just could not express because of language barriers and other factors. So this is what happened. I was at work, and I was working back to back to back. It was now lunchtime, and I had to eat lunch with the kids. I was still in elementary school at this time. And what happened was I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I decided to put my food in the microwave while I would run to the restroom because that was the only break I got that day. So I went ahead and I did that. And there are 2 doors to the staff room. So instead of going through the back door like I normally do to get to the microwave, I came through the front door. So I came through the front door, and I realized there's a bunch of ladies that are just piled around the microwave. And at this school, they had a bunch. All those ladies that didn't eat with the kids, I don't really know their job titles. They weren't teachers. And they were just there. So, they were piled around the microwave. There was one lady that looked very uncomfortable through it all. And she said something, and they started backing up. But by this time, I'm already walking really fast because I know my food is in the microwave. And I don't understand why everybody would be looking at the microwave like there's some kind of exhibition going on. So I get back there and I realize that my food that I put in that microwave, the lid is now off, and all these ladies were talking and looking in my food. Guys, I did not know whether to tell them where to push the food, stick the food. I just didn't know. I was so baffled. I was so mad. But you see, the thing about it is this. Living overseas is kind of hard because, especially in Japan, there's not a lot of foreigners in Japan. And there's definitely not a lot of foreigners that look like me. So all the perception and things that they have learned about foreigners that look like me is based off the narrative of movies and the TV, which we already know that stereotype, right? So I try my hardest for our black race. I try very hard to be a model citizen and just not react and be hot-headed and just act crazy around them. But in that moment, it was very hard. So they didn't give me no explanation. One lady was just like, "Gomenne," and she put my top on my food. And guys, I grabbed the food and I put it in my lunch bag and I stormed off. I don't even think I ate the food. I don't know. I don't remember, but I was so hot. I was so mad. It was just one of the most disrespectful and one of the craziest encounters that have happened in Japan. That was number 2. Number 1. I just realized all these encounters pretty much happens at work. Tells you how much I do, right? So at work, I told you I worked at 3 elementary schools. So at my bigger elementary school, I had made some friends with some Japanese teachers, and they were just the sweetest. So my birthday is in November. They got me a cake, and I'll insert a picture right here. I think I have a picture of the cake, yes. So they got me a cake and candles and like gifts and stuff for my birthday, and it was just so sweet. So the other teachers came over that was in the staff room, and they started singing me happy birthday. And one of the teachers that happened to be there, and this is not the same school as the school with the bicycle. This is a different school. Like I said, I worked at 3 different schools. So one of the guys that were there, he was an older guy, probably in his 50s or so. And he was there and he was singing happy birthday and stuff to me as well. Well, I am a hugger, guys. And if you know anything about Asian culture, they're bowers. So I'm telling thank you, but I am hugging just like off natural instincts. I'm just hugging everybody. So it gets to the man and he kind of like, I'm like, but I'm emotional. I'm crying at this point. I'm just like, oh my God, it's so sweet. Because, you know, it was my first birthday away. So I just grabbed him, guys. Like I just beer grabbed him. Just, push all this. All of this titty. Can I say titty on here? All this breast was just pushed up on him, and it was the most uncomfortable feeling I've ever had. And I hugged him, and everybody was just like, like if a pin dropped, you would have known. Everybody in the room was very uncomfortable. Apart from my friends that knew that's how I was. So when I finally let him go, like it finally clicked in my head and he bowed again. He just took off. Like he took off. Guys, when I tell you the rest of the year, that man did not look on me. He did not walk in my direction. He did not speak to me. Like if I was walking this way and he was walking this way, as soon as he saw me, U-turn. If I'm in the room and he's in the room, like if I walk in the room on him, he leaves. If he comes in the room and I'm there, he leaves. Like, no eye contact, no talking, no nothing. That was my number 1 most awkward moment in Japan. And just because it's the first episode of KimDixTalk Tuesday, I'll go ahead and throw in a bonus awkward moment. I don't think you guys are even ready for this one. So Japanese staff, they like to hang out together, especially in the school system. Whenever there's a test, like exam times test, after it's completed, it's a big celebration. Woo, we did it. So there was a party that was happening. Well, this party was going to happen at an onsen. If you guys are not familiar with Japanese culture or customs, an onsen is a bath kind of where you go to soak. The only thing is you're doing this naked. So my co-workers invited me to go out with them so I can go soak with my naked body and their naked body like this far apart. And then go back to work on Monday and look them in the eyes and act like nothing happened. And I was just like, So I was coming up with every excuse in the book why it is that I just could not go. Now in Japan, tattoos are still tabooed. So I have several tattoos. I was like, you know what? I can't go. My tattoos. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to miss it. But, ooh, tattoos. I don't know what I'm going to do. So the lady was like, it's okay. I'm sure I can get you to come in with the tattoos. And this lady, she's kind of a little rule breaker. She's not very Japanesey. That's not a word, but she's not like a regular Japanese lady, and I think that's because her sister is married to a Westerner and she's around Westerners a lot. So she was like, no, we'll get you in, even if it means that you just come for dinner and then we sneak you into the onsen and different things. She was coming up with all these elaborate plans, and I was like, oh, okay. So Japanese people are always so busy. So for this particular engagement, they weren't sure how much the dollar amount was going to be. So they were like, once it gets closer to the date, we'll tell you all the figures and we'll decide, we'll go from there. So I'm like, okay, hopefully they'll forget about me. So they haven't said anything to me. The day of the event comes up. School is over early. So I'm getting out the door because I'm like, yes, nobody has said anything to me. As soon as I'm walking out, this lady's like, Kimberly, the same one that I said is used to Westerners. She's like, Kimberly, don't forget we have to meet up tonight. And I'm like, I'm acting like Boo Boo the Fool now. I'm like, meet up tonight? What you mean? For what? She's like, the onsen, we're having our party, whatever. So I'm like, oh no, remember I can't go because of tattoos. I don't want to come spend my money and I can't get in. It doesn't make any sense. I'm coming up with every excuse. She's like, okay. I'm like, I have to go meet somebody. So I was like, I was out. So little did I know, she calls the place, she calls me, and she's like, oh, I just called the spa, and they said your tattoos are okay, as long as it's not like snakes or anything that looks like it's related to the gangs in Japan. And I was like, okay. So she goes and she tells everybody that I'm coming. So I'm like, no, I have to come. And she was calling me, like she was blowing up my phone to make sure that I was going to be there, okay? So I got there. You have to change your clothes and all these other things. So it was just the most awkward thing, guys. But in the end, I ended up not going inside the onsen. I just went ahead and changed in my yukata. And we had dinner. And we walked around the spa and stuff. But I just told them I wasn't going to go in the onsen. I personally could not. I let her know. I could not look you back in the eye on Monday after you seen all of this and me seeing all of this. Like, oh, y'all want to be in this water? And no, ma'am. I'm a little bit of a germaphobe and no, ma'am, it's not going to happen. We can't. I'm going to be looking at your breasts. I'm going to be looking at everything because I've never seen it before. I've never seen a Japanese woman naked. So it just wouldn't work. And that was my top awkward moment in Japan. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Like this video. Go ahead and turn this post notification bell on. Subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below, would you have attended that onsen party with your co-workers? Until next time, see you. Bye.